Four Horsemen, and other opponents. And like I said, for the man his side, who's rather quickly went into WWE, and once again, kind of basically took over everything and fought through a lot of opponents. Some of the best matches I remember him with were him and Big Boss Man. Him.
Mick Foley as well.
Mick Foley. What's another one? I believe, I'm not sure. I think he went against The Undertaker. I have to double check.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah. And basically held several titles in different organizations, from New Japan to NWA, WCW to WWE. And like I said, for a man his size, he moved quick, and that's what basically attracted him to a lot of these wrestling organizations. Also starred in some TV bits, Boy Meets World.
Of course. We actually, that was our last episode of Retrocast.
Yep.
Our last episode of Retrocast on the record was the first episode with Vader, which I took the tweet. If you go to our Twitter at Blake and Sal Show, I put the link up so you can listen to that show again. Right. It was actually a good episode.
Right.
That actually was our first and only guest on that show during that episode with us.
Yeah. And when he wasn't wrestling, big family man, very kind-hearted person. He basically would give you your shirt off his back. The nickname Gentle Giant, that's what he was, and he's a legend that will be truly missed, and no one's going to be able to fill those shoes, and I don't want anyone to fill those shoes. So, condolences to his family.
Do you think without Vader we'd have someone like a Braun Strowman all over the place like we have right now?
Probably not, because this is a guy that everyone looked at, studied, critiqued, and basically he went back when younger wrestlers were coming up and kind of giving them some advice on what to do and what not to do to get further ahead in the wrestling world. So this is a guy that basically shared his insights on professional wrestling and wanted to pass it on to the other wrestlers that were coming up. So without him, there would be no people like Braun Strowman. There would be no like Big Show and Yokozuna, things of that in nature. So his presence in the wrestling world will be surely missed.
Okay. Well, that is that. Age 63, way too young in that perspective. So that was that. We move on to a release that kind of came out of nowhere in a weird way. That was a release of Big Kaz. He had a match against Daniel Bryan at the last pay-per-view. Daniel beat him again.
Yep.
Tap out, and then within 48 hours, he was released from his contract. He wasn't doing well in his future endeavors. He was just released from his contract. So, I don't know how to feel about this one. It kind of came out of nowhere.
Well, the backstory is that on a match he had with a small person.
Oh, no, it wasn't a match. That was a segment.
Okay.
That was a segment with a mini Daniel Bryan.
That basically Big Kaz wanted to put some of his, I guess you call it his ideas or thoughts.
He wanted to beat up the guy more,
right.
And Vince said no, did it anyway. And he did it anyway, and it pissed off Vince.
Right. So,
and I had to blame him. I cannot blame Vince on this one.
So basically, Kaz had one foot in the doghouse, so in order to basically get him out of the doghouse, he had to listen to Vince and other entities of the WWE. And
he didn't really.
Yeah, and then there was another incident where they were, after the pay-per-view, got drunk, caused some problems.
Yes, that was right before the firing.
Right, caused some problems at the hotel. They contacted Vince. Vince was not happy about it, and within 24 hours, voila.
And what's interesting is that the joke has been that he did not get wished well on his future endeavor. That is the joke. But it's weird, because even the only person in the last like couple of years that wasn't wished well was actually Enzo.
Yeah.
So that's interesting.
Right. And the other thing is, he was supposed to be slated for appearances at a state fair, and he still had the videos of it, and now they had to take him down because he's not making that appearance, and I believe there'll be another WWE superstar that they'll substitute in for that appearance.
Yeah, something like that.
Supposedly Braun Strowman's name came up.
But everywhere right now.
JR sent a message to Big Kaz.
Right.
And basically within that message it was like, you got to stop, you got to learn, you got to understand the way the wrestling world works. Basically, you are not in control until you get to a certain, I guess, pecking order.
Even then, if Vince says no, you don't do it.
That's the most.
If there's one thing I've learned listening to Something to Wrestle with Bruce Pritchard, if Vince says no, you don't do it.
And that's the thing is, Big Cass thought he had creative control over the character, and that he could kind of do anything that he wanted. And that was the message from JR: is you got to stop, you got to listen, you got to basically understand the way things work, because you're not at that peak yet where you can determine what your character does.
Pretty much.
So I'm not sure if any independent organization.
He can't do anything TV-wise for 90 days.
Right.
He's under 90-day clause.
Right.
The joke has been that he should show up at All In and be the Uber heel. Like, piss somebody, show up at All In, get the Uber heat. The problem with that will be, I don't know what the streaming situation is All In yet. We don't know what's going on with it. And the issue they're having is that, like, someone like Big Cass wouldn't be able to show up on the stream.
Right.
Because it's still in the 90-day window.
Right.
So that's the problem they would have with that situation.
The other rumor is supposedly I heard he may go to Impact.
Again, you got to wait for the 90 days to be over.
Right.
Well, what's funny, I know Jack Swagger is now in Lucha Underground.
Yes.
Which is weird.
Oh, hell yeah. No one expected that.
So weird things are happening. Let's leave it at that. Weird things happen. So if randomly Jack Swagger can be Lucha Underground, Big Cass can be anywhere.
Just remember, there are wrestlers that can come and go to any organization at any time they wish. Or if they get released from an organization, they can try another organization to basically keep their skills up to date.
If there's one thing I have to say, though, the way the wrestling world works right now, there are a lot more opportunities for people. So that's one thing true.
Oh, yeah.
And that'll be our segue. NXT UK. That is our segue to picking of opportunities.
And that's off the heels of the UK tournament?
We'll get into all this. First things first. Right before the tournament actually started, they announced NXT UK television series coming to the network later on this fall.
Wow.
It'll be a weekly series. They haven't announced any announced teams or anything else yet. Mm-hmm. But Morrow and Nigel did the tournament. And that was fun. Nigel McGuinness was almost a fanboy during the main event. He was jumping out of his seat. It was amazing to listen to and watch.
Yeah, if I could pick one of the announcers to do this series, I would definitely go with Nigel.
Nigel and Morrow did the tournament, so that was fun. But anyway, it's they have a whole bunch of filming, and they announced a bunch of TV tapings all the way through December already.
Wow.
They are planned out for the rest of the year out in the UK. They announced different locations. Wow. They're going to be doing shows in Liverpool and in Glasgow, and they're going all over the place. It's going to be really, really cool. And also, besides having the UK Championship, they're going to be opening up a women's division with a women's championship and a tag team championship.
Well, there you go.
Yeah, so that's already going to be announced. And the second night of the tournament set a bunch of storylines. So that's a cool thing.
So if you read all over social media, NXT brand is really taken off.
Yes. Okay, so for those that were confused this week, Monday and Tuesday were the UK tournament.
Got it.
So if you're confused, because you tuned in on Monday, and it said WWE United Kingdom Championship Tournament, and then you tuned in on Tuesday, and it was the NXT UK Championship Special. It was the same thing. It's just Tuesday was the official debut of NXT UK.
There you go.
That's what happened. That was what was going on this week. So Monday, I will say, by the way, what a fun... I watched a lot of wrestling on Monday and Tuesday, because I watched both nights of the tournament, which was almost 3 hours on Monday, and then 2.5 hours on Tuesday, and then I watched 3+ hours of Raw, and I watched SmackDown. I still haven't watched 205 Live yet, but that's how I watched on Monday and Tuesday. It's a lot of fucking wrestling for one person, but I did it, and it was fun.
So, a question to put out there,
Go for it.
And not to put any pressure on anyone, but do you think that NXT is doing better than SmackDown?
You know, it's funny. I think so a little. But SmackDown's a good show. SmackDown's a lot better than Raw. SmackDown's better than Raw.
Right.
NXT is only 1 hour, and they have a lot more to work with. So NXT's a good show. NXT's a really good show.
Now, for how hot NXT is, do you see them expanding from 1 hour to 2 hours?
I think that the sweet spot would be 90 minutes. I think add an extra half hour.
Okay.
Mainly because they have so many wrestlers on the roster. They have so many wrestlers on the roster that aren't on TV right now.
And here's the thing with those wrestlers, they are fantastic.
Like on night 2 of the UK tournament, they did an NXT exhibition match. And it was because they wanted Aleister Black on the show, but they didn't want to defend his title.
Right.
So they did Aleister Black and Ricochet versus EC3 and Velveteen Dream. That was an exhibition match that they did on this show.
I saw the match, and it was
like... It was amazing!
Wow. I mean, all these guys did their finishing moves, I think, 3 or 4 attempts. They were high-flying, flipping on the ropes.
And I want to know where the hell Ricochet and Velveteen Dream got their chemistry. Because their chemistry is unreal for two men that didn't know each other 6 months ago.
Right.
They have amazing chemistry.
I mean, Ricochet, what can I say? He's a wrestler that's in constant motion. He's always thinking at least 1 or 2 moves ahead. And this guy, talk about lightning in a bottle. That's exactly what it is. If you blink your eyes, you're going to miss a couple moves he's doing.
So the tournament itself was Monday, and I will say I enjoyed the tournament this year. What they did this year was they did round 1 at the Download Festival in the UK.
Okay.
And they put the round 1 matches on YouTube for free. So if you wanted to watch those and you wanted to prep yourself, you do that.
Okay.
Me, I didn't do that because I didn't have that kind of time.
Right.
But what I did do, and I'll plug my boys because I'm so happy with them. Hayden Glebe and Darren Goverage are back together again, and they did a 2+ hour primer for the tournament, and they broke down every single person in detail on their show or on ProWrestling.net on the pay side. It was an amazing 2-hour primer.
Good job, guys.
Another recap this week. They're doing a show today.
Yeah.
That's why Aiden was supposed to be on the show with us today, but he has work and he's recording with Darren to do a full review on the member side of ProWrestling.net for this show.
I give a shout out to Hayden and Derek. Hey guys, you're doing a fantastic job.
They're amazing. I love those two together, and they have amazing chemistry. They have amazing chemistry.
Keep it up, guys. You're doing great, and I'm sending well wishes to both of you. And hopefully everything takes off the way it should.
So the tournament itself, so night one was the second round of the tournament.
Okay.
And then the rest of the tournament. So these are the matchups you had. You had Zach Gibson versus gentleman Jack Gallagher.
Wow.
And Jack Gibson played the heavy heel all day, heavy duty heel.
Oh, he's coming on strong and
Flash Morgan Webster versus Jordan Devlin. That was fun. Joe Coffey versus Dave Mastiff.
Okay.
And Travis Banks versus Ashton Smith. Joe Coffey, they turned him heel in the third round. Completely heel, completely uber heel. He had he tagged with his brother, and now they're a heel tag team. They're going to be the top heel tag team in NXT UK.
Okay.
So that's a big deal. So Zach Gibson won, and so does Flash Morgan Webster. Flash Morgan Webster, I've never heard of this guy until about 3 weeks ago on 205 Live.
Right.
He's fucking amazing. He takes after his outfit the Beatles.
Really?
He's dressed like he's from that era of the 60s.
I was gonna say the 60s Beatles.
It's just like that. It's like old school 60s Beatles. He's got the outfit on, but then when he takes off the outfit, he's fucking amazing in the ring. Does he have
the Beatle bowl haircut? Wow.
It's amazing. He's incredible in the ring. He had a match. He went up against Zach Gibson in the second round. Zach Gibson won. Ended up being good. And we had Joe Coffey and Travis Banks. Travis Banks, I think he either is or was the Progress champion.
Right.
He's the one who beat Pete Dunne.
Okay.
He beat Pete Dunne.
I'm sure Hayden can fill us in on that.
So I could look it up. I'm looking at things up here. And then we had the final. Well, Joe Coffey beat up Travis Banks after their match, and that turned him heel in front of this crowd.
Okay.
And then we had Zach Gibson versus Travis Banks, and they went over 17 minutes. And Zach Gibson won the UK Championship tournament.
Okay.
So it ended up being Zach Gibson versus Pete Dunne on Tuesday.
So if all of these UK wrestlers, would you say that their styles kind of mimic Zack Sabre Jr.?
You know what's funny about this tournament? I expected a lot of that because I'm used to Gallagher and things like that.
Right.
It was a nice mix. It was a nice mix of some cruiserweight action, some strong style action.
Okay.
Zach Gibson is a lot like an older Pete Dunne.
Okay.
They are pretty much the same similarities when it comes to being methodical on body parts and fingers and bending your arm back.
So it's more of a I don't want to say scientific, but strong style, and they're probably good with submission holds.
Pretty much. Also on the first night, we had Tony Storm become the number one contender to